signal in the distance to whom it may concern. I think I lost my way, getting good at starting over every time that I return.
So this year was the Eiseman Hut again. It was an epic snowfall year, probably the snowfall year of the century, right? And to start the trip off, I think there were a lot of uneasiness of the snowpack, and are we gonna get avalanched, and are we gonna make it in, are we gonna survive? And at the beginning, I think there's a lot of, do we go on with the trip? Do we even start the trip?
Oh, my name is Julie Bear, and I'm the Eiseman survivor.
Only partial survivor. Dan.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, so I'm Jeremy Clark, and my wife Megan.
I'm Megan. Third hut trip, second time to the Eiseman. And the second time's a charm, I think.
Well, I'm glad you gave it its correct title. It's not the hut or the hut trip, it's Eiseman. You give it proper due and proper respect.
Got Sarah Blameyers. Woohoo!
I'm Eric. I'm Christian. I had to wear the outfit so people would recognize me.
I'm April. Yay.
Pretty amazing trip, and I think that the hardest part is everyone has to figure out their role. You know, like we got the jackrabbit roll, and that's the first one up the mountain. That would be Megan.
And Tina.
Megan and Tina. Right, and then you got, the people in the middle, making sure everybody's safe and making sure everybody's equipment works well. Then you have and I took on the heavy breather role.
I'm Alicia. First time to the hut, and yeah, we just signed up because, or we were substitutes, because there was all these great people organizing it, so we wanted to jump in on something already organized. Well, Joe and I don't actually really like to ski.
Our car got out okay. The Blameyers' car got stuck in the hotel parking lot to get there. We're thinking it took a half hour to get the car out.
How tough is your truck that we couldn't get out of the parking lot, my friend?
Was I stuck? No, I got out. We got out, right?
We did get out. Not as quick as that Subaru, but we got out.
We only, no, listen, the way we were able to figure this out, we turn, listen, when all else fails, you turn everything off and you turn it back on. That's what we did.
Reboot.
He
got us the instruction manual.
We got the manual out and said reboot. We rebooted, turned it back on, boom.
Go.
Okay.
Boom! We pushed that truck out of the parking space.
The hut. Buried cars are a very good sign. Woohoo!
So the icicle developed obviously slowly, and Brandon the whole way up wanted to cut that thing off. As did I. My little OCD wanted to dismount the thing, but it got bigger and bigger, shut down my vision field, and at least added probably what 25 pounds to my total weight. I think that's why I was the last one to the hut. It was the icicle.
I was like starting to get dizzy at one point. I don't know if it was altitude and exertion, and I would go like 3 steps and kind of just lean against a tree, and then go a little bit farther and lean, and and then at the end, you just don't know how far, because everyone keeps saying it's a quarter mile, it's a half mile. No one really seems to know at the end, and you think they do, but they don't.
I remember, halfway through the trek, asking these guys, you guys did this last year, right? I can't believe you said yes again. It was bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was easier this year than last year.
Why?
Because it wasn't as icy. It was heavier snow, but we weren't all falling and sliding and...
Speak for yourself.
Yes. Oh, last year you may not have made it.
I wouldn't have made it.
May not have. However, it was hard. It was difficult, and April knows that. She had to talk me through it, but...
Who was trailblazing?
All the people at the front. I don't know. We were picking up the rear.
No, you weren't.
were middle of the road.
Middle class.
Us and the souvenirs.
Tina. That's in her gene.
Tina and Bridget, but I don't know.
Everyone commented that this year was easier, and I'm objecting to that because the snow was so deep.
She wants to be heard. She felt like she didn't.
I feel I got the bad end of the stick having to break the trail up the wall. That's all I'm going to say.
I just got one thing to say. The one thing that I gotta say is there's people on this trip trying to take credit for blazing the trail, but everyone knows who the trailblazers were.
Yeah, it was us. We blazed that whole trail, Tina. It was not you.
I heard Tina saying, I blazed the trail. But no, it wasn't Tina.
It was us.
It was us.
Jeez.
I was trying to take credit for
Yeah,
things that she didn't do.
Totally crazy.
We get to the wall again. The death of me last time. That was the wall last year. Brandon would literally, I would start to waver and almost ready to fall over with my big turtle shell, and Brandon would like put a pole in my butt like to hold me up, to stabilize me so I wouldn't fall yet again for the 123rd time.
We are on the wall, man. Building the trail at this was really hard. But Bridget is a trooper. But I did the first part, so we both get credit.
Okay, so one thing I didn't know was that when we got up there and were so tired and was positive that I had elevation sickness. So I think it was Joe offered me a drink, and little did I know that he totally like spiked it with his vodka or something, whatever he had brought in it.
I heard Megan whisper behind you, but yeah, Joe yelled back to us. I heard him and I knew I was close, and I just thought.
How you feeling, Bridget?
Yeah, I didn't realize until like the 5th or 6th drink that Joe had spiked it with some vodka. So, I mean, I was just out. I thought I blamed it on the elevation sickness, but it was an elevation sickness. Yeah. Good to be with you. Hey, Joe.
Girl over there in the back.
Yeah, like go to the beach. Yeah.
Here, oh my gosh.
I know, we're like, why are we doing this again?
It was not like last year, I hope. No. Was it the same time?
You made it. How was it?
It was amazing. It was awesome. It was amazing.
Trace, let's give a clap for Trace. Trace! Woo! He's in the dark. We can't see him.
He is an animal.
Did you carry everyone's packs, Trace?
Well, I learned I was about a mile in is when I felt maybe I was getting in a little over my head. I thought, well, I could still feel my feet start to burn, and I thought, this could be a long trip.
Trace had the worst blisters, and he didn't have water.
You didn't have water or any.
On the way
And so, yeah, so I noticed he was eating snow. Oh,
He's like, nobody's looking.
He's eating some snow.
I mean, that was probably the hardest thing I've done in my lifetime as far as endurance-wise.
Nobody told you what to expect?
No.
Dude, we could just given you water. Yeah, we got
And
that.
didn't his clothes get all wet and stuff on the way?
The wool socks
The way
were
in.
good. Yeah.
I think the gear was fine. I think it would have been fine had I just worn better socks, probably.
That was brutal.
Yeah, Trace, tough dude, and so when he got in, I'm like, hey, how'd it go? And he looked at me and said, dude, that was no joke.
You know, one other point, once again, I'm seeming a little on the negative side, but I do have a bone to pick with that Trace guy. Because Trace claims to be an ER doctor, yet he is the one who seems a little ill-prepared for blisters and shoe stuff.
He had some serious.
And what kind of ER doctor doesn't prep his own feet?
So what do you mean by blisters? Those little red marks on my feet? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they turned a little red, but I didn't notice them really. Yeah, so we had about 5 people trying to fix up my blisters, and I think the pain management doctor got stuck doing the most of it. I don't know what he, I don't know where the oral surgeon was, and you know, the dentist, how much of that goes on in his care practice. But yeah, I think that we'd do well by possibly leaving it to the psychiatrist. I think Christian, he really would have done a good job. He looked like his blisters were doing fine.
I thought the cabin life was really actually quite fun. I enjoyed getting snow for the big pot that we had to drink water out of, except for there was some yellow snow. That was a little discouraging to see yellow snow.
Well, I had to go so bad. I've been holding it since what? Butt crack it on, like 2 a.m. when we left. And I could not hold it any longer. So finally, I let everyone go ahead of me except a couple of you. I'm not sure who. And I stooped down to go, and my pack was so heavy, I just fell right back into the snow, and my bum just was white as could be and cold as could be, and
April was laughing.
I said, "Don't look!"
I turned around right at the moment that she fell back into the snow, and
I almost needed her to come back up and grab my hands to pull me out, because I almost think I was going to, but.
What I thought was most entertaining is that Alicia never knew that we continued to pee off the balcony. And that one time...
So we had an issue with the meat, the red meat of the first. And we were worried about Eric carrying all the red meat and getting attacked by a wild animal.
There are mountain lions out there.
But we had the gun, we were okay.
There are cougars. That's exactly why I stayed behind with Christian, because he had a 45.
That's the only reason.
The 45 would take care of the cougars. Hey.
Yeah, I don't know what type of cougars he's talking about.
Yeah, he does carry a pretty big package. Makes me jealous sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, his gear, it's like, you know, it's lots of gear, and not just that, but like that.
What are we talking about?
Oh, his package, his gear.
There was some confusion earlier about Eric's meat. What we're talking about this time is the actual meat in his pack that he took up the hill.
Absolutely.
In his pack or in his package?
See, now you got my mind spinning again. I'm sorry, Eric. We're both sitting here thinking about your meat.
Okay, so I just have something to say to Eric Blaymeyers about him whining about carrying meat ahead of time, because I think he had maybe 5 pounds of beef. However, and he was saying, beef or lettuce? And so yes, we did carry the vegetables, but the lettuce, avocado, tomato, all combined was more than 5 pounds.
The problem was it wasn't rationed out correctly. It was very unfair. Who wants to take the lettuce? I do. Okay. Megan, by the way. I'll take the lettuce.
She's like a third your size.
Okay.
Who gets the potato chips?
Who gets the potato chips? Tina. I'll take the potato chips. This is what I feel, okay? The ladies, I really don't feel bad for them. First of all, they got up there first, okay? Every one of them are speed demons. Those ladies need to be weighed down.
Cabin was great. After like 10 hours of recovery, my heart rate finally came down and I could breathe again normally.
So that morning I'd woken up and showered so I'd have clean hair for the whole weekend, but as you can see, that didn't last. My goal didn't last very long. My hair was pretty much destroyed by the time we got to the hut. But just a little bit of snow, the 8 miles in. How many hours did it take us? 8 hours? 5 hours
the first
in.
mile.
looking for the thing to fill the void. I don't go out, must I got used to something about the strangers and the noise. And why leave when I got you, baby? It's a risk, but baby, I need the thrill. I never said you'd be easy, but if it was all up to me, I'd be no trouble. Hey, we're in trouble. I said, ooh, you got me in the mood.
I'd like to talk about this year's summer sausage. Because if you guys will recall, I came around with a little tray of summer sausage all cut up and it's on crackers, and I pretended to serve hors d'oeuvres to everybody. Truth be told, that was left over from last year. So it is what it is. Enjoy. Remember that next year, because I'm sure there was some meat, perhaps Eric's meat, that was left over that we get to enjoy next year as well.
Well, Hut Life was really wonderful until it was time to go to sleep. I started out in the group room and I could hear snoring in every direction.
Oh, it was heavy breathing. Definitely heavy breathing.
Haynie's on one side, Trace on one side, the bears in the closed door, Julie. I don't know whoever else was, so I was like, I'm out of here. So I went and stayed with Bridget and Jeff. They were very quiet sleepers the first night.
And then somebody else comes out and sleeps on the couch, which is alright. Tina's not a snore. It was okay. And then brings her husband the next night. We didn't get any sleep. We were so mad. Snoring the whole time. Brandon.
Bridget was having night frights that we were going to get caught in an avalanche.
I was certain that we were going to be buried in an avalanche and taken to a very cold, snowy death.
And
She kind of got mad at Jeff.
she got mad at Jeff at snoring, but it was really coming from the bedroom. He was like, I'm not snoring. Yes, you are.
So note to self, bring earplugs next time.
So this whole outing, luckily, came to a climax when I finally organized everyone to play games. If it wasn't for me organizing the games, it would have been a failure. But luckily,
With an F.
I got everyone to get together and play some games, and everyone, had a happy time.
He's definitely
I felt like I spent a lot of time in the toilet. That cold toilet where I'd forget my flashlight every time. And I'd sit on the toilet and feel like my butt had frozen to the toilet. Did you not have that?
Oh, I had that.
I went in.
The whip of air coming up.
I went into the toilet one time, and who was in there? It was Jeff.
It was Jeff Miners.
It was Jeff. And I go in, and all of a sudden I hear, "You done already?" I don't know how long he was in there with his bidet.
So there's another aspect I want to point out. I don't want to be all the downer because it was a good trip. Actually, I loved it. I had a good time. But this whole idea of strapping on all this gear, hiking for 2 hours up this standing there in the cold, and then going down for about 5 seconds.
Lame.
Then having to hike back up the mountain again. That's just not. That's not the way I ride.
And no helmets? What's that? We didn't even bring helmets. How many times I almost crashed into a tree? It's like 20 feet of snow. And not just that, but I was for certain that we were going to be lost in the avalanche.
Were you for certain?
For certain.
For sure.
For certain.
outhouse, you always see these ski videos of people jumping off these roofs and like just landing sweet into these sweet tricks. Well, there's a lot of snow, so I climbed up the outhouse and so I'm gonna jump off this thing. And hooked up my skis and made a little track because it was so deep you had to make a track so you could actually slide off the roof. So I got ready, slid off the roof, and boom! I landed, both my skis stayed, and my face just landed flat right into the snow. It took me about 30 minutes just to recompose and get everything all together, and didn't go quite as planned, but it was an outhouse jump.
Brandon.
Brandon.
I don't remember whose idea it was.
I think it was yours.
Was it mine?
Or Bridget's.
Whosever idea it was, I said, awesome, let's go try it. So we got up on the roof.
And I said no, thank you.
And
You didn't do it?
No. And the first person off was Sarah, I think. I think she had the best jump because, you know, it's fresh powder. And then, but I was the last one because I was the last one up on the roof. And by that time, when it was time to jump, I had enough time to get a little bit, you know, just to rethink, maybe not the best idea to do this. But I was going to make a huge jump, and in that process, my boot slipped, and I made a really little jump. Just kind of fell off, pretty much.
Snow Cave was,
It's pretty amazing.
it was awesome. You're right. It was. We started on one end, and you think, you know, this could cave in. You don't want to go too deep because it might cave in on you, but Eric Blameyer's got to the other side, and we started meeting in the middle. I'm not positive, but I thought there was a little too much affection when Christian and Eric actually did meet in the middle. Like, it wasn't just a handshake, but... So then we cleared out the middle of the snow cave, and eventually the girls got in there, and there were probably, I don't know, 7 or 8
We
women.
fit all of us in there.
Yeah, at one time. It looked, I don't want to say comfortable, but kind of comfortable.
It was more cozy.
But what happens in the snow cave stays in the snow cave, and you guys can have that memory to yourselves.
Break the quiet. Learn to wear each other well. And when the worrying starts to hurt, and the world feels like graves of dirt, just close your eyes and tell. You can't imagine this place.
It's probably a good time for confessional here. I'd like to talk a little bit about something very near and dear to my heart, and it's something Susanna had a hand in, and that is my chafing.
Literally.
Yes. So, I mean, it happens, right? We're all hiking up the hill, you get a little chafed. I go to my wife and say, hey, have you got something I can put on just to kind of ease some of the pain?
I have this.
Right, and being the trusting husband, I said, give me that. And I generously applied it to the area what was chafed, and oh my God, just light me on fire. That's how bad it hurt. Dancing around. I know. If I could have run outside and just streaked through the house into the snow and just kind of like the snow just to get the chafing under control, I would have done that. Oh. Damn, that hurt. And, insult to injury, laughing girl over here couldn't keep it to herself.
Well, no, I did. I just laughed. I did. I had everybody asking me why I laughed, but I did
It was Tina. She's the one that wouldn't let it. Tina wouldn't let it go and drug it out of me. But I was in so much pain, I was probably delirious.
Well, we decided, I guess ultimately it was a vote, we decided to leave that morning, which now I think was fun. It was very much enjoyable.
There were a little mixed feelings, I think, on the trek out. I think it brought the group together towards the end, but going into it, I think there were some ticked off people waking up at 5 in the morning.
So it was pretty early. Started bright and dark and early.
Well, earlier than that, 4 in the morning, I think. But we actually left around 5 on our mark. We had like 18 people there, and we actually left at 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, we did vote.
Well, and then everyone starts saying, hey, let's get up and 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
And start our way out.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that converted to 4:30.
But still, 4:30, and then everyone
It was painful.
Everyone jumped on board like 5. We're gonna leave at 5, and everyone's like, okay, we're leaving at 5.
I could not believe 18 people got up at 4:30 in the morning.
And all these headlamps. What a beautiful sight to see these lights kind of ahead of you the whole time, and especially when they were ahead of you and you weren't leading, that was even better.
Skiing in the dark was so peaceful, or
Yeah.
skiing out, and it was snowing a little bit.
That was my favorite.
And it,
With the little headlamps on.
Yeah. And then just seeing a row of people with headlights, and then the snow coming down.
It was really just
really
amazing.
peaceful.
To see it.
The 4 hours to go to drop 3,000 feet elevation over what 8 miles, 9 miles,
9 miles out.
and it took 4 hours. That is
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was hard. It was hard work.
Yeah. I'm so tired.
It's so crazy. I put my skis on where it was warm, and then I stuck them in the cold snow. So I had like 2 inches of ice on the bottom of my skis, and started down the trail and started pushing, and I thought, oh my gosh, if this is how it is the whole way out, I think I'm gonna die. And Sarah later even said, what is wrong with Julie? Why isn't she moving?
That feels so good. Oh, being up front, you like that?
I love it. For about 30 seconds.
Right.
Great.
All right, we'll let you do it again. We'll give you another chance.
In another 45 minutes.
You won't remember, I'll be the one. You won't forget it. It's going down, yelling timber. You better move, you better dance. Let's make a night. You won't remember, I'll be the one. You won't forget it.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nah, it's just me and the damn thing changed. Live in hotels, swing on planes. Blessed to say, money ain't a thing. Club jumping like LeBron now. Bowl it, order me another round. Homie, we about to clown. Why? Cause it's about to go down. Swing your partner round and round. And then the night is going down. One more shot, another round. And then the night is going down. Swing your partner round and round. And then the night is going down. One more shot, another round. And then the night is going down.
I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night.
So if I had to give you some advice on what to do next year, I would probably say start about 6 months early with some kind of severe, heavy-duty exercise regimen, CrossFit maybe, extreme CrossFit.
And by the way, we had a wonderful time skiing at Copper while everyone else wussed out and went hot tubbing or whatever else they did. But I'll tell you, it was a good ski day even though we were pretty darn sore. It was pretty fun.
It was more of a forced ski. That's good.
Okay, so yeah, that's something that is just funny to me is all these men. Like, I mean, you've got all these hot chicks up there, these athletes that are in great shape, and who's hitting on? They're all hitting on Brandon. Like, Brandon's got not just the girls after him, but like every single husband's like, look, oh, Brandon this, Brandon that. Woo! Look at Brandon. There he goes again. He's going down. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Which is you are as
In
hot
there.
as Brandon.
I
You have the attention that I give him.
You know what?
Okay?
You got me on that.
I'd run a couple marathons at least before you get started. I would use some sandpaper and just rub them on your feet daily for about a month to get those things toughened up. Then at that point, just get the cheapest gear you could possibly find and throw those babies on there, and you should be good. You know?
Hey, but as hard as it was this year, I really got to hand it to Susanna for making this whole trek with a broken ACL over here. Aww.
That might be good, but imagine kissing Brandon Johnson.
Were cold. They were scared down in their homes. The forest that once was green was colored black by those killing machines. But she and her furry friends took down the queen.